Oilerslive podcast. Oilerslive podcast.
Now, get ready to talk hockey. Streaming from the Oilers Live studio. Subscribe or follow today.
Hey, it's Michael here with another edition, Wednesday edition of the Oilers Live podcast. I've got my good friend and co-host Dash in the Park. Take our new listeners and our regulars home tonight. Our live show is going to broadcast anytime there's not a Oilers game at 5 p.m. Mountain on Wednesdays on Edmonton Sports Talk or right here on youtube.ca/heavy hockey. And if you go to youtube.ca/heavy hockey, you can interact with us there. Put your comments. We'll respond when we can. We're going to look at maybe going to I'm already off the rails. Dash, help me out here. DJ John there, longtime listener, first time caller. He's in the house. He's got me off the rails. How you doing, Dash?
You're supposed to be the pro here.
Well, apparently not. We can go, by the way, live now on Instagram. But the problem is if we go live in this format, the way that we are, it would look absolutely like you see about half my face and you don't see any of your face, and people can just listen to us, and that's about it. Which might be a good thing.
That might be an increase. Yeah, we might get more hits there. Yeah,
I'm going to take us live there, and if people pop in and say hello, they say hello. Welcome to everybody else.
I can't imagine anybody's tuning in to watch us or look at us. That's for sure. If not, they're already disappointed. But it's been a good day. It's been a busy day. I had the alarm go off at 4:44 this morning just to make sure I could hit snooze twice and be out of bed before 5. And it really hasn't stopped. So it's been good. It's good.
Snooze twice. That's it. I could never get by with only a double snooze. It's got to be like a 3 or 4 timer for me. And usually like 4 o'clock. I mean, that'd be a half hour's worth of sleep for me.
The next snooze 3 and snooze 4 were in the shower. I took advantage of that 10 minutes, and so I still got my 4 snoozes in.
Yeah. So we do have quite a few people on Instagram coming in. Not quite a few. We've got a few. And just let you know, we can't change the format up, so you don't get to watch us, but you can listen in. Thanks to Brennan and Graves, and shout out to a couple of the Mooseheads fans out there. 3 Mooseheads, 3 Halifax Mooseheads made the Team Canada roster this year. One guy who should have made it last year, and one surprise for me, and then our goalie Mathis Rousseau. Not a surprise at all. Outstanding. All right. Talking about snoozes, talking about all these different things. A little bit happier now, wouldn't you say, this week versus last?
Yeah, it's a little more positive. It's a little more positive for sure.
Yeah. You think, have you run into any naysayers?
No, they're pretty few and far between now. I'd say all the naysayers that had the season burning down at game 12, 13, and 14 have kind of tucked their heads a little bit, I would say, for the most part. But yeah, it's
you know what? I have no problem with that though. Like when you are what were we when Woodcroft ended his tenure as coach? We were 2-9-1.
November 12th.
I think we were 2-9-1 when Woodcroft was let go, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2-9-1. I mean, it's not unreasonable to think that the season was done at that point. I mean, it's typical. It is quite typical, right, that you go American Thanksgiving as the cutoff, and we weren't anywhere close.
We stretched it.
Yeah. I mean, now, we're still not in it, but to be
Oh, sure we are.
1 point
Oh,
back.
officially.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Not,
Fair, yeah.
not officially, but to be 1 point back and games in hand.
Right.
That's huge. It's
Yeah.
huge. Did I think it was possible? Absolutely. Hell yeah, I thought it was possible.
Last time we were on the air, we
I
had a
wouldn't have been surprised.
46 or 47% chance to make the playoffs, and 7 days later on the calendar, and it's 77.7% chance to make the playoffs.
77.7. Money puck. We need to get
Yeah.
that sponsored.
Money puck. Money puck.
Moneypuck.com.
K. Waddy said it was 3-9-1, which I did think that there was an extra win in there just because of that Seattle 4, that win right before the night before Woody got sliced.
They're 13-12-1 right now, and Knobloch's gone 11-3, right?
2,
Did
I
he have
think.
2-3 or 10-3?
I don't know.
All
You're the
right.
pro,
Well, either
like
way.
I said.
Whatever.
You're the pro. You've already taken this thing off the rails. Why would you be informative at this point?
Whatever.
You know?
Who says 3-9-1? Quaddy says 3-9-1.
Yeah.
Maybe. Could be. Actually, I'm getting my numbers from our good buddy Lotzi. If he's wrong,
If you don't trust the Oracle, there's something wrong.
Yeah. That's right. Then we're throwing it all out the door. Some stranger says this team prefers to make life harder. Thoughts on that?
Oh, that's their MO. Like, that's absolutely. Yeah.
Gravesy on Instagram says you guys aren't worried about goaltending. He's now that we've got folks on Instagram, not aware of the. We're not going to go down this path, but I'm going to ask you. I'm not going to answer, but you're not worried at all?
We're not going to go down this path. Translation, you don't want to be wrong again for the
No, I don't want to talk about it. I'm asking you. You're not worried about it.
I mean, I can reiterate what I said last week. It's would I want better goaltending? Yes. Is there room to improve? No.
I'm
Let me
asking
finish.
if you would be worried. Are you worried?
No, I'm not. No, not
Okay.
at this point in
Okay.
time. No. Do we need to upgrade? For sure. Like, I can Picard or Rodrigue catch lightning in a bottle as a backup? Yeah. That's really thin lightning in a bottle, and that's a lot of risk. And, logical tells me that. But any one of those goalies is capable of being a decent backup if the team in front of them is playing the way they've been playing.
If they're playing the way they've been playing, hell, we could get through the season with, just about anybody right now. What did Chicago have?
We are doing that right now.
8 shots in 2 periods, right?
We are doing that right now. Skinner hasn't been outstanding whatsoever, even in this 8-game streak. You'd be the first to agree with me that he hasn't been superb. I think his goals against expected are bang on. Like, it's exactly what they're supposed to be. He hasn't saved anything more than he's supposed to. But they're winning and they're playing in front of him. And, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. Boston did it with Tim Thomas. Boston did it with Allmark. Boston did it with Swayman. There's average goalies can look like superstars really quick in front of a team that's playing right. And this team right now is playing right. Is it sustainable? I don't know. We're top 3 in expected goals for. They're top 3 in expected goals against. I don't think we can maintain that. Our power penalty kill has been almost perfect. I don't think we can maintain that.
Yeah, penalty kill has been a big part of that for sure.
Power play was humming at 46 or 48 at one point after a few games ago. So, they can't maintain that. It'll all balance out. It's just like, like, Oilers be Oilerin', man. It's the ups and downs of being a fan of this flipping franchise. Like, 2 years ago, everybody thought this was a roller coaster. Now look at this son bitch, like, here we are, like 2, 3, and 9, and now 8 in a row. And Knobloch steps in and could tie the franchise for most wins in a row.
So we've got Ryan Lotzberg joining at about quarter to 6 Mountain Time. We're going to talk to him about a recent article he put up about changes under Knobloch.
And look, we
It
do
is
need a
for me.
better goalie. Like, we do need a better goalie. We just that's not out there, right? And I don't think that's out there, and I don't think we should sacrifice any amount of the franchise whatsoever to go and get it, or to dump Campbell's salary when those assets could be spent in better places. And that's
Well,
what it
hey,
comes down to for me.
I mean, we've
And I
had
think we
this
can agree on that.
discussion. We've had this discussion. I don't want to go down the path.
No, me neither.
But I will say this because I've said this, as you know, more than on one occasion. I want to be wrong about the goaltending. Like I'm not one of those fans that will, cheer for, Skinner to fail just so that I can come back on the show and say, "Look, Dash, this whole time I was 100% right." But here, let me finish. This is the part here where, like, we're seeing the team for what it really is. We're getting the best out of them. If and you and I agreed on this early on, right? Obviously, we've disagreed a little bit on the goaltending, but you and I have agreed on this early on, which is if the Oilers can get average goaltending, they are one of the top teams in the league, if not the top team in the league. The other thing that I've, consistently said from the start of the season, despite the 3-9-1 start, is that this is the same team that everybody picked as a cup favorite at the beginning of the season. In fact, this is the team they picked as the cup favorite. The team we saw 2-9-1, right? Or 3-9-1, whatever you want it to be. 3-9-1 was an injured team. Ekholm was injured. Kulak was injured. McLeod was injured. McDavid was injured. Draisaitl was injured. Key players
Connor Brown.
Injured. Connor Brown.
Sam Gagner.
Maybe still injured.
Sam
No,
Gagner.
just
that's
confidence injured.
Seriously, though.
Yeah. No, yeah, but yeah, so exactly. So this is, for those folks and those, people that are still, a little bit worried about what we got, we can finally see, this is the team that we were expecting, and a healthy Oilers roster. One that, even if half of those guys were feeling a little bit better, the team would have been better than 3-9-1.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Ekholm was not himself. That was clear. Right? Whether Woodcroft is the guy that was the problem.
Man, what happened to Captain Skate? Oh, we're going to have Captain Skate. Everybody's coming in.
Yeah.
The whole team's going to be on the same page. Like, the absolute opposite effect that it could possibly have. You and I have worked in business long enough. We've worked in corporation long enough. What happens when the bosses go away and all the kids start talking? Right? Like, he said that? Oh, that's how he keeps you accountable? Oh, really? I don't care where you are. You're never perfect. Not. And all of a sudden, after a team that goes 15-0-1 or whatever it was in their last 16, right? Like 18-2-1 in their last 21 games, all of a sudden is upside down. Oh, and most of those guys went into Captain Skate healthy. What happened to Ekholm that he got hurt in Captain Skate? Did these guys
$1 million question
tweak hammies? what? You know what I mean? Like, I could they have had more disastrous results? Who's got that on their bingo card? Hey, we're gonna all be on the same page. Left no stone unturned, right? Like, this is go for all, win or bust. And they show up at Captain Skate, who has on their bingo card, coach fired, disastrous losing streak, fan base burning tires. Like, this was new coach and one game, a week after American Thanksgiving, here we are, and we're back to 500 and about one game away from setting or tying a franchise record for the most wins in a row.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did
What's happening?
We did the season opener, right? We opened the season off, and we
Canucks games killed us. Yeah.
Well, but no, I was more thinking about the show that we did.
Oh, I see.
And I think I joked that Woodcroft would be the first one out.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, like I joked. Not
Yeah.
for a second did I think that would be the case.
Yeah. Well, two of the rest of us had him for the Jack Adams.
Yeah. Well, and maybe he still does.
Hot
won't be as
take.
an Oilers-
Hot
It
take.
just won't be as an Oilers coach.
Hey, he's taking St. Louis with Binnington all the way to the Cup after.
I'll tell you what, and I like if you get a chance, those of you that are tuning in, go to heavyhockey.com. Check out Lotsberg's article, Changes Under Knobloch. And I want and comment. I want to know what you think because look, Woodcroft was what, the winningest coach in Oilers history? But he gets let go after 12,
Only
13,
to be
14 games
surpassed
or whatever.
by the next winningest coach.
Yeah.
Holland's a genius.
Well, here's the thing though, right? Was it what were the Oilers destined though to miss the playoffs if Woodcroft had stayed? And the reason I say this is because there are some significant changes to the defensive structure and the offensive structure. Maybe not significant, but they are changes that I think have made it easier for this team to play and a little bit closer to the way they played last year. And I think Woodcroft got caught in that, which a lot of coaches do, that stubborn, I'm going to make this fit and I'm going to make this work mentality. And the Oilers, I don't know if they would have caught on to the system in time in order to be successful this year. Whereas Knobloch comes in, takes it back a step, makes a few changes kind of backwards to what the Oilers were playing last year, but continues to do the zone defense. And lo and behold, this team this is easily the best stretch of hockey they've played in the last, I don't know, how long? Last night, I know it was Chicago, but when's the last time you saw the Oilers up 4-1, still not letting a team get, 20 or 30 shots? Oilers last year would be up 4-1, and Chicago would have got, 15 shots in that last period. Oilers would have hung on and won a 4-3 game. This is a different team. It's different. If you want to be a naysayer and you want to, think that they're riding some type of high off of, a new coach or whatever, you go ahead. But this is a different team. They're playing a little bit different of a style. They're playing well defensively. They're focused. I'm not going to say that Woodcroft was had to go. But he might have had to go. I know it sounds crazy, but if he had stuck with where he was going, this team might not have turned it around in time.
They wouldn't have. They couldn't have. Call it a high. I don't want to call it a high. You know what it is, man? It's not a high that's driving them. It's a guilt trip. There's two really nice, good men. One of them that's going through a hell of a time. That lost their job. Now those guys got to go look in the mirror and go, shit. Our piss poor play has those good guys fired. I think that's a huge part of the catalyst of the chemical formula that turns this thing around. Did Woodcroft deserve to be fired? No. Was he good enough to turn it around? Yes. Could he have done it like this? No. Makes sense. I don't know. I think, Jeff Jackson said it in a presser. What was that bumbling, stumbling one with Holland where they couldn't get their crap straight? But didn't he say something like we played 7 good periods all season? Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah. 7 or 8 good periods all season, I think his quote was. Top of my head, I just thought like that was something that stuck with me. They've played 20 good periods in a row now. Like, this is a good team. Things have changed for sure. Things have changed. Would they have changed under Woodcroft? Maybe. I'm not saying they didn't have the momentum that was going to lead them in this direction. Eventually, sooner or later, not like this. No, bro, not like this. For sure, not like this. There's only one formula that gets your ass in gear enough to put a franchise record and heater like this. Like, these guys are on a wagon right now, man. Like, there's the PDO isn't even that, like, they're just playing goddamn good hockey, right? Like, last night was almost the fact that I didn't think Connor played. Like, I've heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, he played some amazing game," and whoa, he showed the kid how it was done, and like he did, but that was by no means Connor McDavid's best game. I thought the fact that those guys could all put that whole story beside them and just beat Chicago, just go beat Chicago, right? Like, I heard Knobloch talking about it today in his presser about 8-game segments. That's what he's broken it down in for the team. So he thought, he preached that if they could win 5 out of every 8 for the rest of the season, don't worry about this big streak. Don't worry about this big forest amongst the trees. Just go and win 5 of the next 8. They won 8 of the next 8 because this was the end of their 8-game stretch. It starts again tonight for them. So I'll be really interested to see them. Tomorrow. I'd be really interested to see how that mindset, if that even shows in their gameplay a little bit. And not that I want to jump into that yet. I know we got some thoughts to finish off here on the last game and how the team's been playing. But in conclusion, yeah, it's a different team, man. Like, the penalty kill alone is what is winning this team games right now. The fact that the power plays back up to nuclear levels is just what everybody expected. It's like buying a house and should have a driveway. Everybody expects it to have a driveway.
Well, here's what an 8-game streak like this does at this time, right? That puts them a game over 500, and now they can, relax maybe a little. You don't want them to relax.
They're at real 500. They're not at Bettman 500.
Yeah, exactly. But they, at least now they can do Knobloch's system, the 8 games, right? Like, and they don't have to go 8 for 8 every single time, right? Yeah. Now they can, if they can finish, if they can finish 5 of 8 every time, they can do that. Mm-hmm. They're on this was, I remember last year they came out a little bit slow, and then they had an easier schedule, right? And we all kind of got behind them again.
20 points at American Thanksgiving they had last
Exactly, year. Yeah. Same sort of thing, right? I'd say this was probably one of the easier schedules they'd have this year. It came at the right time, never a back-to-back, perfectly spaced, night in between. Our first back-to-back's coming up right before Christmas. Mm-hmm. This is potentially the hardest stretch right now of the new Oilers.
The home stretch.
Yeah. We've got Tampa, and then we've got Florida. Tampa's got no Hedman, of course. He's injured, and I don't think will be playing. Florida, of course, is a good team. And then they go on the road for a few, right? Got New York, Jersey, and then the Rangers. That's not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't. The great thing is, we were talking last week. What do they need to get out of this home stretch? We kind of figured they needed, 4 of 6 at a minimum. So they've done that. Now you can focus on just playing good hockey, right? Which they've done. Don't get me wrong, but you don't have to. Maybe guys like Brown aren't gripping the stick as tight.
Oh no, he'll be gripping his stick too tight. No. Don't kid yourself there. Look, hey, I'm not one to toot my own horn. No, wait, I'm actually one that loves to toot my own horn. We said this last week that if they could walk into Rogers Place and beat Carolina and New Jersey, that they had a chance of running this homestand out. And I think that those were 2 huge tests, right? In Carolina, it's a team that we've struggled with in the past. And that was a pretty convincing game. It was just maybe 55 minutes, but it was pretty convincing game. Okay, now it's the Devils. The Devils will be the test, right? That's what we heard before that one. And there's no way they come out of Vancouver where the Hughes on Hughes was going all over the place. They had 16 high danger scoring chances against the Canucks. And then they walk into Rogers Place and had three high danger scoring chances against our Edmonton Oilers after just racking up a wagon versus the Canucks.
And best power play in the league goes over.
Penalty kill. Right? So this team is now said, all right, there's a couple huge tests, and they came out very well on the right side of those tests. Which I gave them all the confidence in the world to keep going. So Tampa Bay, this isn't your grandpappy's Lightning. Like, this is right. There is no Hedman. Vasilevsky's coming off a surgery. Stamkos has been cold. Their team's been stripped down. They're not the most dominant team in that division. So they might not even be the most dominant team in Florida. In fact, who are you more worried about? Let's save that for the next. Let's save that for the next half hour. But no, I love the change. I think as much as I want to, it all comes together. You can't just thank one thing. The penalty kill has been massive, of course, but right at the same time, the goaltending's been good enough. Bouchard is all of a sudden able to not pinch in awful situations and not make plays when the whole world is caving in on him. That's the most prettiest play in the world through three guys' legs. Like, his game is so much more north-south now. He's already the best passer on the back end, I think, for our team. Nurse is pretty damn good too. But when you've got that guy tuned in, that makes a huge difference. Nurse has been a machine. Yeah. So like, you put these things together, like, is it sustainable? I don't know.
Well, let's talk about who some of the biggest surprises have been so far in this 8-game stretch. We'll talk about the change with Knobloch when we get Lotsberg on about halfway through the next segment. And we'll finish off the last half hour with the upcoming game against the Tampa Bay Lightning and the next stretch over the next little while. We're going to take a break right now. This is Oilers Live from the Heavy Hockey Network. Proud to be a friend of Edmonton Sports Talk. We'll be right back. Devin, Bruce, and the rest of the fantasy hockey hacks right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Mountain, or tune in at youtube.ca/heavyhockey, and make sure you like and subscribe. Looking for a hockey fix? We've got editorials, fantasy hockey, monthly brackets, and more. Go to heavyhockey.com. Hey, it's Oilers Live Tuesdays, a regular 9 p.m. Mountain Time, now streamed live on edmontonsportstalk.com, or tune in at youtube.ca/heavyhockey. Make sure you...
Oilers Live Podcast.
Want hockey podcasts? Tough Call Podcast, 99 Forever Podcast, fantasy hockey hacks, and replays of Oilers Live. Available anywhere you get podcasts. Just search for Heavy Hockey Network or go to heavyhockey.com. That's right. We need your help. We need your subscriptions. Make sure you subscribe at www.youtube.ca/heavyhockey.
Oilers Live Podcast. Oilers Live Podcast.
Hey, it's Michael here with Oilers Live, coming to you live tonight on the drive home on edmontonsportstalk.com. And we're trying out Instagram tonight. Thank you to the couple listeners tuning in. We'll figure out how to get the orientation right so we can do a live show on Instagram. We're also on Facebook, Twitch, and TuneIn. You can go to TuneIn and listen to Edmonton Sports Talk. Listen in your car on the way home, wherever you want. This second half hour, we're going to talk about some of the surprises that are going on within the Oilers roster, who surprised people the most. And about midway through this half hour, we should have Ryan Lotzberg join us to talk about his latest article, which is changes under Knobloch, and get his take on how this team has progressed. There's some debate whether it's 10-3 or 11-3 under Knobloch. We'll get that straightened out and figured out. Maybe we can do that at some point here shortly. Dash, let's start with you. I mean, if you could pick one guy that surprised you the most out of this stretch, that's really, whether it's Knobloch, Coffey, whether it's just a player, who surprised you on this Oilers roster?
Honorable mention to Bouchard Honorable mention to Bouchard and Nurse, and we'll use that as a segue from the last time we were talking here a minute ago. I'm really impressed with the ability for both of those guys to just drive north-south in their game now. I see a lot less east-west, if you will, or back and forth. I see a lot less risk in both of their pinching. The choices Nurse makes now are impactful when he does, as opposed to seemingly being sometimes the wrong decision. And, it's always been less is more with Doc, and I've seen that. Boosh, just again, like I think he's, the most offensive-minded passing defenseman we have. You can see his 5-on-5 deployment, his 5v5 is almost always with Ekholm, Nuge, McDavid, and Hyman. So there's some beneficiality to that, I think, but ultimately I'd have to probably give it to Hamblin. Fantastic goals for a big reason, thanks to mom. I didn't really expect any of that. And for him to be able to come up being a Woodcroft guy, right? He's a Woodcroft guy. He's in the bake with Woody, and he's impressing his new coach and getting ice time and getting goals and using it. And, it's pretty cool, man. Him and Gagne have been really, really impressive together.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see Hamblin or Gagne getting a mention in there. Not that they haven't been impressive. I think they've been huge.
What do you want me to say? I'm the most impressed with McDavid.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
Who isn't?
I think for me it's Nurse. Nurse or Bouchard. Probably Bouchard because look at last night, right? Like not just from an offensive standpoint because we all knew he had it in him, right? Like and he still I still don't know how he makes some of the plays he does. Like he just seems so gangly out there, but somehow gets the puck around guys. It's not the same sort of speed and finesse that McDavid does it, but he does it anyway. But look at how he played Bedard on the defense last night. Like Bouchard's defensively hasn't been a liability out there. Not like he was, at the beginning of the season. He's come back, and we all know that some of his fortunes rise and fall depending on how Ekholm is playing, right?
Sure.
But he just doesn't seem as lazy in the zone. He just doesn't seem as lazy in the zone. He seems, engaged. He's making great passes. He's doing everything right, both sides of the puck. Of course, it helps. It makes you look better if you don't have the puck in your zone as often, and that yeah, it's something every coach will preach. Best, best defense is getting it out of your zone as quick as possible. And then the other guy, I mean, you mentioned him, which is Doc. He's been the other night. I can't remember the exact play, but he had an opportunity where he could have chased the puck down and went for the rush, and he looked back and there's nobody back there, and he
New
turned,
Jersey.
goes back, and he just he made the right choice. And that's one time, but he's been making the right choice game after game after game. And I love it because I see Darnell Nurse out there, and I just feel comfortable as a fan watching him play defense right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't have to. And you said it, because one of the parts about Nurse that has always been maybe his, he just wants to do
Achilles
everything.
heel.
Yeah, like he wants to do everything, and when he doesn't have to do everything, and he's getting I think he's averaging about 21 minutes a night, 22 minutes a night.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is. It's perfect. If he's not playing 30
You're not playing
minutes,
power play, then what do you need more than that?
yeah, he's doing great. He's absolutely doing great. He's turned his whole game around. I heard somebody say he's turning into a $7.5 million player. and I love that.
Well, Bouchard's turning into a $10.5 million
Yeah.
player, so wait
Oh.
until the next whipping horse comes along.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't even want to talk contracts right now, but I love the way Nurse is playing. I love the way Bouchard. In fact, I love the way the defense is playing. I'll even, a week ago, I would have told you if we were going to change defense, it would be Desharnais. I think he's done what we expect from him,
Mhm.
right? Like what you expect from
Doesn't
a
mean you can't
bottom
upgrade on
pair
somebody.
defense, right? And he's been good. I mean, you can't deny the PK has been outstanding.
I love that big
Right?
body.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go back to it, and I've been saying it over and over again. This same team that everybody said was a cup favorite, now they're playing like it. We shouldn't be surprised by this, right? And I don't think you are. I don't think I am. Some people are. Folks that aren't Oilers fans might be. But we knew early on this was going to be the team that we had.
This is how this team
while.
played for the last 21 games. This is how this team
Absolutely.
played for the last 16 games when they went undefeated to finish the year. This
I'll
is the same.
say, though, one thing. It's not, though. They're playing better.
Well,
Yeah, like they're better. This is fun to watch.
I mean, do it over 21 games, and I'll give you credit for them doing better. That was all time, I think. Honestly, those last 20 games, everything was going well, and maybe just the improvement in the penalty kill is so good to see that it feels that way. But yeah, I don't know. I'll take either one. That's for sure. I'll take the last 20 games of last season's Oilers or the last 8 games Oilers. I just want to see the first 10 games Oilers again.
And you know what? That's a good segue into our guest coming on right away. First 10 games, of course, and a couple more were under Mr. Woodcroft himself. And the following, it was, in fact, I double checked, and we'll have to change that on Ryan's article, but under Knobloch, it's been 10-3.
Oopsie daisy.
Yeah. So we'll take that off your check. So the Oilers' first 10 games, or first, I guess, 3-9-1, so 13 games under Woodcroft, not so great. The next 13 games, not too shabby, I'd say. Yeah, welcome to the show, Ryan. Good to have you.
Thank you. Always happy to be on.
So we were just I don't know if you're tuning in, if you had a chance to. I know you just got home and into the home studio there, but we were talking about biggest surprises. Dash went off the board, and rightfully so. He said Hamblin and Gagne. I mean, if you don't think they were a surprise, I guess you haven't been watching. I think the biggest, maybe I was thinking more of biggest impact, but I guess depending on how you look at it, right? I was thinking Doc and Bouchard.
That was my honorable mention.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's your thoughts? Biggest surprise so far, maybe out of the last sort of 13 games, who's kind of stood out for you as a change maker outside of 97?
Calvin Pickard.
Yeah, I mean,
really
that guy that's got like 25 points in the last 4 games or something. That guy,
Yeah, he's done all right.
he's done okay. Yeah.
You know what I love, first off, by the way, is we can't change our orientation on the live stream today to go to the portrait, or not portrait. Yeah. Portrait view, so that Instagram can see the whole thing. If you go onto Instagram live right now, it's just like,
All
it's
you
just
see is
you,
Lotzie.
Lotzie. It's just Lotzie
Oh.
on there. And so lots
Those
of
poor
pressure.
Instagram fans.
You gotta say,
This mug.
like, everybody's going on to the live feed and they're expecting to see me, and they get you.
Viewership triples.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if I lose followers or I get followers. We'll see what's
That'll be
going on.
telling.
All right. Sorry. I thought I'd say that. Let me know what biggest impact, biggest surprise, however you want to interpret it, for the second half of our season so far.
I am gonna maybe not put it to one specific player, but I'm gonna say the penalty kill, because the penalty kill has been absolute dynamite.
Is my
ever
microphone not working? Like, I ask a question tonight and I never get to say nobody's answering my questions. What?
We make our own rules around here.
Is this thing on?
I can't hear you, Michael.
All
I
right.
can't hear you, Michael. Go on, Ryan.
Yeah. All right. The penalty kill.
Yeah, no brainer for sure. I mean, that's penalty kill's the reason this thing has been turned around.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Glenn
been
Maher.
huge. Like, they were killing us. Like, I think in the first 13 games, there was only 3 of them we didn't allow a power play goal against.
Yeah.
Like, we were spotting everybody at least a goal a game on the penalty kill. And now, what have we killed off? Like 28 or 30 or something? I haven't looked into the exact number, but it's
I think
pushing
it's
30.
28. It's ridiculous, is what it is. Did you guys catch? I had to look it up, what the record was.
Oh yeah, no. What is it?
It was the Capitals in 99-2000. 52 or 50. It was over, like, mid 50 range, like 55, around there, in a row. In a row.
Wow.
So we're about, a little bit probably over halfway. And I mean, you got to have, there's a tremendous amount of luck involved in that, right? What
Gotta be good to be lucky.
That absolutely.
Gotta
And the
be good
PK's
to be
been
lucky.
good. PK's
Damn
been
right
great.
it has. It's amazing what happens when the goalies know where the shots are coming from.
Yeah.
So Ryan, I mean, you wrote the article. Give us a little rundown of, what you found and what you've kind of uncovered and put into your article about the changes under Knobloch, and maybe some of that pertains to the PK. Of course, I've read it, so I already know. No surprises here. But for those of you that haven't read it and are about to, Ryan's going to give us a little summary.
Yeah, so I actually did a separate piece on the PK that you can check out on Heavy Hockey as well. But what I focused on in this piece about the changes under Knobloch is the neutral zone system and the defensive zone system. So like the 1-1-3 that Woodcroft implemented in training camp was well talked about. And so basically the idea, you got one high forward pressuring the puck in the offensive zone. Then you got another forward camped in the neutral zone, waiting to pressure based on whichever way the puck gets forced by that high forward. And then you got 3 players at the defensive blue line there to force a dump in and there to go retrieve the dump in. what I found was happening was that system just created 2 lanes on either side of the ice in the neutral zone that just made it super easy for the opposition to skate or pass the puck through the neutral zone. So they were able to gain entry into our zone super easily. So I don't think it had the intended effect that Woodcroft wanted. Like the idea was to limit rush defenses or the rush chances against, but we ended up being the worst team in the league at allowing rush chances. I don't think it was all based on the neutral zone system. Like I think a lot of that was individual errors and mistakes at the offensive blue line, but it's playing a role. We're seeing now with Knobloch, he's implemented the 1-2-2 that we had going last year. So you still have that one high forward pressuring in the offensive zone, but you've got the other 2 forwards kind of between the red line and the blue line on the offensive side of center, waiting to challenge the puck no matter what way it's forced. And then you got your 2 defensemen there to, in case something happens, or to retrieve any dump-ins that happen. So we're making it harder for the opposition to get through the neutral zone, which is really important. Makes it way more difficult for them to get into our offensive zone with control.
So PK Subban goes on the air and says, we're still a one-man team. Connor McDavid, obviously. I don't think I need to say that. Some stranger a little while back in the chat says, I think McDavid getting healthy was the turnaround. What do you guys think? I mean, obviously McDavid scoring, what has he got now? 24 points in the last 8 games? What is it?
I can't count that high.
Yeah. I mean, he's on a tear, on a wagon, if you want to say, however you want to do it. He's doing great. Clearly part of the reason for the turnaround. But is this team all about McDavid? Like, is that why they've won 8 straight, is because McDavid decided he's going to put the team on their back? Or, if you had to, is it a 50-50? Like, what do you guys think? I mean, what I'm curious about is, if you take McDavid out of the lineup today, is this team going to win some games, or are they going to go back to the team that was, first 13 games of the season that you took McDavid out of the lineup and we were actually looked like a one-man team those 2 games? What's your thoughts? Dash.
You can't give Connor McDavid credit for a successful 3rd and 4th line. And Sam Gagne's put 4 goals in. Hamblin's put 2 goals in. Ryan's put goals in. Fogel's put 4 goals in. I think it's just been you can't give him all the credit. Sure, he deserves some of the credit. Of course he can. As Connor goes, we go. Like, there's no denying that whatsoever. But the PDO leveled out. The PK got better. The power play got better. Bouch got better. Nurse got better. Connor got healthier. The goalies didn't get worse. And that's a successful formula.
Yeah. Lotzie?
I tend to agree with Dash there. Like, there's a lot of reasons why this team is winning hockey games right now. Like, it's not just one thing or one player. And you look at the scores that we've put up in some of these games, like 6-1 against Carolina. What was it? 5-0 against Washington. We've had some lopsided victories in the last little while. Now, if you take away Connor McDavid and his scoring, we probably still win a big chunk of the games. Maybe not by as many goals. We don't run away with as many of them, but we're probably still winning some, or more than our fair share.
Yeah, I think that to me is, you hit the nail on the head, right? Is this, and we talked about this in the first half hour, which is this team is playing better than they've played for as long as I can remember. This little stretch here. From the time they played the Caps and won 5-0, and there've been 2 games in this stretch since Knobloch came where they've had over 2 goals against. Right? One of them was the Vegas game, which, I think they're still kind of getting their wheels under them. and then the other was Minnesota. And no team's going to go perfect on D, right? Every team's going to get blown out at least once in a season. In this case, we got blown out a couple times early on. But for this team to go and win all of these games, and by the margins they're winning them, and as Dash pointed out, you've got a fourth line that's contributing on the. I mean, how many years have we been saying secondary scoring, and we're getting it. But then how many years have we said, we just need to outscore the other guys, and we don't even need the secondary scoring to outscore the other guys. Like, what's going on here? I mean, 4-1, 4-1, 6-1, 8-2, 5-0.
Dreisaitl's having a slow 8 games.
I know. I mean,
yeah. And this is the other thing that Knobloch has done, and I pointed it out in my article as well. Like, he put together that line with McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and Hyman. They've been unbelievable. Like, looking at Natural Stat Trick today, they're 12-2 at 5-on-5 as a line.
Oh yeah, they're the new nuclear option, right? Like Nuge, McDavid, and Hyman are the new nuclear option. He can't go to Draisaitl and McDavid. He can't.
not when you got that line playing that well.
You can't break up that first line right now.
Well, hey, he's actually doing what he said he's going to do. He's keeping lines together, and then he changed Draisaitl last night, and he should have, right? Like Knobloch's he's making some good decisions. Well,
should he have? Why should he have? Why?
I think so.
Why did he do it?
It worked out
for him to get Draisaitl moving, like to get him.
What it was?
I think so.
Like,
and I think he did a great job.
Putting you on the third line, so now you better get your A in gear.
I think he was looking to get some speed on his wings, is what he was looking for, and I thought they looked better. I thought he did a great job, like altering, especially in a game where it's 4-1. He's got an opportunity to maybe tweak something a little bit to make a little bit of a change in the game, and I thought it went well. I thought we saw Draisaitl, and Draisaitl, he looked good last night. He had a little bit of speed under him. He looked like he wanted to score. I'm glad he scored the way he did.
Can I highlight 2 really super funny quotes from the Smash Hit Nielsen show this morning?
Yep.
Not everybody gets to listen, so if you're listening to us now and you missed it, this is absolutely me quoting these guys. But Noodles wanted to give Connor Brown Selke credit because he's just absolutely shut down Draisaitl this year. And then Gager thought that maybe they dropped Draisaitl, or maybe I'm getting the connotation out. I'm sure I'll be corrected if I am, but it was about Connor Brown playing with McLeod, and just Gage thought because they were both playing like 2 trailer park girls round the outside.
It's awful.
Those are great.
That's awful.
Fantastic.
Look.
Smash Hit Nielsen.
I want to hop on the. I don't want to hop on the Connor Brown, bandwagon here, and not bandwagon, but everybody's talking down about Connor Brown. The guy's had an incredible run of bad luck, like bad puck luck, right from having a goal called back to hitting a couple posts. He had a couple of good opportunities that I thought, what more are you going to do last night?
He's gripping it so tight, but though, dude, he's not.
When it turns around, it's going to turn around.
I'm not going to let you talk out of both sides of your mouth here, because I can't tell you how many times I've heard you quote, facetious or not, I could get 4 goals a year playing on McDavid's line. Well, I could get 4 goals a year playing on Draisaitl's line. So there's an NHL caliber hockey player that's had nothing but opportunity to play with Draisaitl, and he can't score a goal. I think there's more than just, hey, he's gripping his stick, or it's been a bit unlucky, or those posts could have went in. I don't know. Peel it back. He's a bit of a black hole for offense. Like, he moves fast. I think he's great on the PK. He's done a lot of improvement for us there. But man, I was telling my wife, like, he's like the Bermuda Belanger Brown triangle. Like, there's a black hole there where offense goes to die.
Lottie, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, not much has gone right for Connor Brown this year. But again, I'm sitting here looking at his natural stat trick line.
The offense died on his stick a lot last night, and I think it died on Kane's stick too. Kane hasn't had a great offensive touch for the last few games now. They were talking about that he changed his stick. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but apparently stopped scoring goals ever since he's moved to that white stick. But, he was flubbing around. The biggest contribution he had to the New Jersey game was that hit he threw in the third period that turned the game around, like with momentum there. And I think that there's a chance that Draisaitl said, I want to actually go and play with somebody that's going right now, which like Fogle, and you know what I mean?
Well, Knobloch said that the team, I think he said the team had 11 shots before he made that little switch, and then afterwards they had 17.
Yeah.
Like they just hadn't,
like
the team in general.
The puck was dying on Kane and Brown's stick. What's Draisaitl going to do? Oh, put me up with Connor? That ain't happening right now.
There you go. Not talking out at the sides of anyone's mouth. Brett knows the truth.
Well, you're planning on my line. So
I was not.
You're playing on my line. That's why he's making fun of me. If you can get 4 goals on anyone's line, you had 4 goals playing with me because of my beauty sauce.
And yet it still wasn't enough to get you guys the win.
Oh man, there it goes.
Why don't you go get that trophy, Lotzie? All right.
All right. We're going to take our last break of the night, and before we get into the last half hour, Lottie, you going to stick around?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. This is Michael for Oilers Live on the Heavy Hockey Network. We're proud to be a friend of Edmonton Sports Talk. We'll be right back. And Devin, Bruce, and the rest of the fantasy hockey hacks right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Mountain, or tune in at youtube.ca/heavy hockey, and make sure you like and subscribe. Looking for a hockey fix? We've got editorials, fantasy hockey, monthly brackets, and more. Go to heavyhockey.com. Hey, it's Oilers Live Tuesdays, a regular 9 p.m. Mountain Time, now streamed live on edmontonsportstalk.com, or tune in at youtube.ca/heavy hockey. Make sure you subscribe.
Oilers Live Podcast.
Want hockey podcasts? Tough Call Podcast, 99 Forever Podcast, fantasy hockey hacks, and replays of Oilers Live. Available anywhere you get podcasts. Just search for Heavy Hockey Network or go to heavyhockey.com. That's right. We need your help. We need your subscriptions. Make sure you subscribe at www.youtube.ca/heavy hockey.
Oilers Live Podcast. Oilers Live Podcast.
Hey, it's Michael here for Oilers Live. We're back for the last half hour of Oilers Live on the drive home. You can find us on edmontonsportstalk.com or tune in at edmontonsportstalk.com. Or if you want to interact with us, go to youtube.ca/heavy hockey. I've got my friend and co-host Dash in the Park with me for the last half hour, and guest, Mr. Ryan Lotsberg, big-time writer from Heavy Hockey Network. He's got his latest article out, Changes Under Knobloch. Make sure you go and read that at heavyhockey.com. He's also our feature on the Instagram live tonight. So he's the feature guy that you get to see and look at while we do Instagram Live tonight. I know if you were a little bit disappointed that you didn't get to see me, but Lotzi is might be an upgrade for some of you.
Soon to be released. Ryan Lotzberg Pogs.
That's right. That's right. All right, guys, we are going to talk about Lightning in Florida, but first, in the private chat, Dash wants us to hear Lotzi's thoughts on Connor Bedard from last night. The other Connor.
Right.
Yeah. What did they say? There's 4 Connors playing in the game last night. 4 out of the 13 in the league playing in last night's game. But that release on that first goal, that was just ridiculous. Like, dirty doesn't even begin to describe that. Like, that was just like the quick stick handle, and then it's just on a stick, off a stick, just a little fling underneath Ekholm's stick, far side top corner. Like, that was just ridiculous. But like, that's what Bedard's known for. That's his shot. Like, I watched him live at the World Juniors here in Edmonton. Like, both times it was here, the canceled edition or postponed edition, I should say, and the summer edition, and it was the same sort of thing both times. Like, anytime he had the puck on his stick, something good was going to happen. And it's like, he doesn't take games over with his speed, and like, he's obviously not the biggest guy. He just knows where to be to let the puck find him. Like, he can trail the play, he can find the soft ice, and he gets himself into position to get that ridiculous shot of his off. So yeah, he'll put up a lot of points in the NHL just because of his shot and his awareness.
Yeah, 100%. Dash, I mean, I got to get your opinion. I'll give mine, and then
you give yours. I mean, you saw the 3rd edition of that World Juniors and saw him live as well, right? So you've got a lot of experience.
Yeah, there's no surprise what we saw last night. Obviously, lots to talk about. Just that one goal. But second and third period, I mean, he was as invisible as the rest of the Chicago Blackhawks. But I think that was more a product of how the Oilers played rather than Connor Bedard.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the first, that's what amazed me the most. Like, we got 30 seconds left on the clock, and Connor Bedard is in the Oilers zone and somehow still stick on ice, waiting for that shot into the blue paint, fighting off 3, maybe 4, maybe 6 Oilers. I don't know. Somehow he's like, his stick is still
7 of them, if you ask him.
There had to be 7 or 8 Oilers there, and he's still got a stick on the ice and dangerous, right? And the guy weighs about 5 pounds. So, he's not, toughing his way out of there. So, hey, I like, he's new to the league. He's lighting it up in terms of scoring goals as far as a rookie is concerned. He's everything I thought we'd get. He's not, if anybody thought he was going to overtake Connor McDavid right away or at all, I mean, that's, I think that's just wishful thinking, or maybe among the group of folks out there that hope to see McDavid fail. But he's going to be an elite. He is an elite talent, and he's going to be for a long time. And it's fun to watch. I love games like this. Like, I love watching guys like this play in the league, and watching that goal last night, that release. Hey, it's fun to watch hockey when it's played like that. Dash.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced he's going to outscore Connor Brown and Connor Murphy.
Yeah, maybe.
But you know what? Last night was probably the most excited I've been for the start of an Oilers game this whole season. And, and maybe that was soured because of the start or whatever it was, but like, there was legit excitement all day. Like, I kept thinking about that game all day. Like, man, what are we going to see? Or what's going to happen? Like, this is when Connor played Sid for the first time. And, I'm going to watch this game, and that's really cool. And I'm going to remember this. And it's all said and done. I don't even really remember much about the game. And I watched the whole thing, like there was a tad of boredom-ish to it. But what I did love is, like, I listened to all the pregame interviews for the first time in a long time. And I really like what Connor Bedard has to say. Like, he's better spoken at 18 than McDavid was at 18.
It's not incredibly difficult.
Well, and maybe that goes without saying, but
I mean, I
ultimately,
might
like,
have been better at 18 than McDavid.
whoa. I've heard some of those stories. I give the kid credit for, being all humble in his pre-games, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm not a player, I just crush a lot. Like 3 games into the game, 3 minutes into the game, he just comes in and, oh, here, how about one of these? I can, Austin Matthews can do this, and me, and that's it. That's it. And like, I saw Connor take over and go, no, kid, this is my game. And he did. He definitely did. But I also saw Connor try to make that same shot, and he couldn't. There's 2 different, very distinct plays in the game. And I was like, oh, he tried to slide off and use the screen and flick off to that opposite corner, and he missed it both times. So, what I'll tell you maybe left the most impact of the entire thing. And I told Mess and Michael I wouldn't do this, but I was on the hangout today, earlier on Edmonton Sports Talk, and Tommy told us that he watched for this because he had heard this about Connor Bedard. And I went and watched the replay of the goal again, and he's right. Connor Bedard closes his eyes when he shoots. Go look. It's a thing. And Tommy seriously, he said, I went straight to practice and that was what he watched for. But the fact that, like, that's how good he is, it doesn't matter, right? Like, when you've shot the puck 100,000 times in your life, you don't need to know where the top corner is. You know where the top corner is.
That's muscle memory at that point.
Right. And that's what hit me there, right? I was like, 10,000 reps or whatever you want to call it came through there. All he did is slide off. Ekholm, Ryan mentioned, by the way, was the defenseman. He did that too. Is that worth noting? Is that guy any good defensively? I've heard.
I mean, how do you defend against a guy that brings it into his feet and lets it go like that?
And can shoot the puck 90 miles an hour from any release point, no matter where his hand is on the shaft. Like him and Matthews can do that. Bouchard has flashes of it from the point. When I see him walking the line, he can get shots off on odd angles, and he can shoot the pill, but not like those guys.
No, his release isn't nearly that quick.
Not like those guys.
No.
It's pretty remarkable.
We'll wrap up Bedard with this. I heard a bunch of comps last night. I'm not even sure there is one, and I'm not sure it's fair to put one on him, to be honest. And I know you're being facetious when you said 5 pounds. All he weighs 5 pounds earlier, and nobody's taking that seriously. But like, does he? Because I heard Patrick Kane as a comp. I've heard Marcel Dion as a comp. I've heard Joe Sakic as a comp. I don't know if any of that's fair. He's short, he's stocky, he's not the greatest skater, and he can shoot the pill.
Lotsy? Have you seen the legs on that kid?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, but he's not big. I mean, you saw the way Bouchard sort of pushed him down halfway through the game. Like, he's not a big player, but he plays so damn smart that he doesn't need to be the biggest player, right? Like, and he is, he's of course big legs, and you're a little bit closer to the ground, you're going to have a little bit more sturdiness, but you can't stick in the blue paint like that and stay up and have your stick on the ice unless if you're being smart about it. That's my point. That's why I throw around that he's 5 pounds, because
for sure, like,
only a guy that's smart, I mean, I would have been in the corner crying with the amount of pain he was going through, right? Like,
strong on your skates is strong on your skates, and you know that, and I know that.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, it was pretty cool to watch that kid play, for sure.
So according to NHL.com, he's 185 pounds and 5'10".
185, thick legs. Is this a fair comp? What if he's just Alex DeBrincat on steroids? Instead of 40, 50 goals, he's going to score 40, 50, or 60. And that's just what he's going to contribute, and that's goddamn fine. Is that
Funny,
okay?
DeBrincat's,
is that good enough?
DeBrincat's 5'8" and 180 pounds, according to, so pretty darn close.
Right?
I mean, the thing with Connor Bedard, like any of these guys, is, they live, sleep, and breathe hockey from the time they're in the womb, right? Like, you just, you watch old video of Connor McDavid, and he just, he did, if the best guys like the DeBrincats did, 80 minutes, of training in a row,
Mhm.
the McDavids did, 100 minutes, and the Bedards did 100 minutes. And in Bedard's case, he clearly took shot after shot after shot after shot.
Mhm.
And
Matthews too.
yeah. And then, you don't get that level of desire if there's not, another level of like a cerebral part of you as well to go along with it that makes them that much
Drive.
smarter,
Yeah.
to play against.
Yeah.
It's the
Drive,
hours.
passion,
Yeah.
IQ, like I'll never forget this story for as long as I live, but it's my best friend's nephew, and I won't name names, but he's in the dub now. And like that kid he forewent morning cartoons from the time he was 2. He woke up and begged his parents at 2 years old to tape Sports Center. That's what he did. And when he came home from school, he shot pucks until his parents told him he couldn't anymore. And that's just all he's done and all he's known, right? And he loves it. And he loves it. And that's
And then he
there's the
became your
Crosby's.
co-host. He became your co-host.
Lotsy, congratulations. Lotsy actually watched me on Edmonton Sports Talk today like a good friend and co-host would, not like, anybody else on this.
Well, I did tune in.
Yeah, 3 minutes doesn't count. Thanks for the view, though. Did you subscribe while you were there? Thanks,
Of
boss.
course. I'm a big.
If you haven't subscribed, subscribe right now.
But you know what?
Some stranger run that.
We don't
for
say
us.
this enough. We talk about Edmonton Sports Talk, and thank you to the guys for letting us be on this slot, this 5 to 6:30 slot, and we hope we grow this. And if you go, and if you can give us a subscription while you're here, go to youtube.ca/heavyhockey. But it's really easy. I'm in the truck driving around Halifax today, and I said, hey, Google, right? I'm just looking to see if my phone's gonna go off right now. But I said, play Edmonton Sports Talk on TuneIn Radio. And bam.
Lo and behold, they're talking
There's
about
Dash.
Surveyor Brett.
Dash and Surveyor Brett and the whole
I was on Edmonton
but it's
Sports
that
Talk
easy.
for-
Like, it's so nice, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can't even tell my radio to turn into like some AM station, right? Like, I can just
digital
like
radio, baby.
it's
Crystal
pretty
clear.
darn easy. Pretty
Yeah, I
darn
mean-
easy. Sounded great. The guys have done a really good job, and continue to throw out content day after day. And talk about they had I missed the whole part about Brett, but we'll have to catch up about that.
Oh,
Anyway,
you
I mean,
have
this
to.
is if the Oilers can continue to do what they're doing.
Brett's a crooked referee. He's really biased. He calls penalties that he shouldn't, and blah blah blah. It was,
Well, we saw that in the
he
last
waged
Heavy
war
Hockey
on Matthew
Showdown.
Owanek. Matthew Owanek waged war back on him. Then on the oil stream, Tommy got on Matty's side and has now waged war on Brett as well, because Brett was posting nasty screenshots of Tommy. There, you're all caught up. So basically, Brett has been talked about now on 6 straight shows across the Edmonton Sports Talk.
Well, there's
platform.
no surprise.
I think he hit 2 guys. I think he hit the morning show. I think he's so congratulations.
Hey, I was listening to the last few minutes of the Lock Shop, and he even was on there today.
Every show.
Yeah.
Once and for all, proving that the biggest star at heavyhockey.com, yours truly, Surveyor Brett.
Yeah, we used to do a Monday show with him called Rip the Ref.
Oh, maybe we'll bring that back.
We should bring.
Now
that
we just
back.
do that in the group chat.
Now we just do it in the group chat. That's right.
Actually, the rep rips us is really what happens in that group chat. Let's be honest.
Yeah, pretty
Damn
much.
refs. I mean, if I had told my parents I'd be friends with a ref.
That's what Guy Flaming said today. Yeah, he's doing the games with Pear now, and he's gone all referee on him. He said he's joined the wrong fraternity. He sticks up for the referees all the time. It's pretty awesome.
It's awful. It's awful. All right. We've got about 10 minutes left. and maybe a little bit more. Let's talk about, there's before we're on next week, there's really a few games, I guess 3 games before you see us again next week. We've got Tampa and Florida at home. Then we've got a couple days off and New York, the Islanders. None of those are gimmies. Oilers are now 1 game over fake 500 and 1 point out of a wild card. What do they need to do? And what are your thoughts on how they're going to do over these next ones? And is this, are we still being tested? Maybe every game is a test in the NHL, but what are your thoughts on that? Lotzi, just kind of give us your rundown. 3 games, Tampa, Florida, Islanders, sort of expectations, and what the Oilers need to do.
Just got to keep doing what they're doing. Honestly, like if they keep playing the way they're playing, like the results will speak for themselves. I mean, Tampa Bay is always a good team. Now, granted, they're not what they used to be. Hedman's out. Some guys are regressing. Kucherov's leading the league in scoring right now, so he's still fantastic. But this isn't the same Tampa team that we've come to know over the past decade plus. So we'll see how it goes. Kind of need them. I need the Oilers to win tomorrow night because I'm going to the game with my buddy who's a Tampa fan. So I gotta have that one. Florida, again, solid team. President's Trophy 2 years ago and Stanley Cup finalist last year. Matthew Tkachuk's struggling, but Sam Bennett is coming out of nowhere and leading that team in scoring. So one guy's dropping off, the other's picking up the slack. So that's still a really strong team, even with Ekblad and Ekblad being out and Montour having been out for so long. So, I mean, if the Oilers keep playing the way they're going to play, I mean, as a Stanley Cup contender at the beginning of the year and playing up to their capabilities, I think they can take them. Like, I'm not too stressed, but like you said, no gimme as well.
Yeah, there's really, I mean, no gimmies left anymore, right? You put yourself into this position and there's not a lot of gimmies anymore anyway. But they have to come out and continue to play the way they're playing. My thoughts on the next 3, and then Dash, I'll let you give your kind of thoughts on it. But Tampa, I think is going to be the easiest of the 3. And that's saying a lot, right, as to how difficult these 3 are, right? Tampa is the thing about Tampa is they, you're right. Like guys are regressing, but they still got Kucherov, right? They still got Stamkos, and that this is a team that they're just smart. They can light you up any day of the week, right? And end up being a 10-1 smashing. And I love the fact I said at the end of the last show, I love that the Carolina Hurricanes were the team we were coming out to after the break, right after that weird break, because of what the Hurricanes did to the Oilers last time. I think this is exactly the kind of team you want right now, especially after facing Chicago, right? Because mentally, guys like McDavid and guys like Draisaitl know that Kucherov is no slouch, right? Like they know that these guys can come out and light them up. And we talked a little bit about goaltending earlier, that we could maybe use a little bit of an upgrade. But having said that, then these are the kind of players that'll light up an average goalie in this league. And so I love that this game is coming when it is. It's a good test for them, right? To see how they can, stay mentally prepared game after game after game. I think Knobloch's prepared the team quite well game after game after game. I think having a day off in between games has been unbelievable for this run. I'm excited for this game. I think that the Oilers, I don't think they're going to take the foot, the foot off the pedal. Like I think they're going to come out and do what they can. And then the flip side to this is they could light up the Lightning. Like, how great would that feel for, the confidence of this team, which, they're already riding on a high, but, obviously defensively, the Lightning are a little bit suspect right now, and even more so with Edmund out of the lineup, right? And Vasi not in the lineup. I love this. I love this game. Now, I said that because you've got then Florida, who, is a top team in the league, right? And you can come into them with another day break, and then the Islanders. And Islanders are, goaltending wise, going to be good. It's going to be a fun little stretch. And then the Oilers get, again, back to back in the New York area, New Jersey, and the Rangers, right? We'll talk about those next week. But this, to me, is a really, really great stretch for the Oilers. Plus, it's against Eastern teams, so they're, some guys that, some teams that'll throw a little bit of something different at you because you don't see them all the time. I think I'm really looking forward to these next few games. Whether they come out of them, I think I'd love to see them, take 2 of the next 3. I don't know when the Oilers' fun win streak is going to end, but if they can take 2 of the next 3, I'd be really, really happy with that. Yeah, Dash.
Well, I said at the end of the last podcast that I didn't care too much about the Winnipeg win, that wasn't going to mean a whole lot to me on the 30th. It was more about what was, and this was 2 weeks ago, sorry, but it was going to happen with Carolina, right? They had a lot of time to practice. They had a lot of time to get systems in place. They had a lot of time. The D, I know Coffey's getting a lot of credit. He's getting credit for fixing the traffic on Stony Plain Road and the bumps on the Henday, but like ultimately Mark Stewart deserves a ton of credit there too. A ton of credit. So like there's a lot of things going right there. What I said might happen is if they could beat Carolina and walk through there, beat Jersey, which they did handily, that they might sweep the rest of the home series. Why am I going to move away from that now? This team's on an absolute heater, like a white hot heater. I'm not scared of Tampa Bay right now. Vasilevsky's been sitting cold and going to get on a plane and come to our cold weather after his surgery, and Hedman's hurt, and it's not the Tampa Bay that we're familiar with. That team's 4-6 in their last 10. They're getting four penalties a game. Good luck with our power play. There's not even averaging 3 goals a game, 2.5 goals a game over that stretch. Bring it. This is exactly when I want them walking through like a wounded gazelle. Bring it. Florida? You think on God's green earth that Evander Kane or Draisaitl are going to let Tkachuk walk into the Rogers Place on hockey night in Canada and do anything in that game? Nuh-uh. Bennett, he can't even do a chin-up. What's he going to do against Evander Kane? You kidding me? No way. There's no way. So we walk out of this homestand undefeated, and then we take that confidence on the road, and we go play that way against the Islanders, who we've played fairly well recently, and go in against New Jersey and play the same game we played against them, where we only gave up three high danger scoring chances. Go play that game again. Then go beat the Rangers too. Let's do it. It's going to be 13 in a row.
This team's never going to lose again.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I'm not going to go that far for sure. But hey, you know what? Playing the way they're playing,
let's go.
I wouldn't doubt it. This is just the best they've played for as long as I can remember. Like on both sides of the puck. That's what makes it different, right? Like they're not having to outscore their opponents, but they would anyway.
Next team,
right?
We're going to be talking about the team that beat the franchise record for most wins in a row.
Which is unbelievable that it's only 9. Right? Isn't that like, does it every time I hear that, I think there's no way that's real. Is that real? Is that confirmed? I mean, everybody's been saying it, but is that confirmed?
We
I
might
mean, as
need
far as I
Eric
know, it's
Friesen
true, yeah.
We might need Eric Friesen to confirm something too. But isn't Bouchard on some sort of point streak that for games in a row that's approaching coffee too?
No,
Not
not
approaching coffee. Coffee's is 28
30
games.
Oh, is it
28
28?
games.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's not quite approaching coffee, but
It was heard in passing, but yeah.
yeah. It's that one's still a little still got some time.
Put that into
Oh,
context. Bouchard's second longest in Oilers franchise history for defensemen at 12 games right now.
Is that
Coffee,
really what it is?
yeah. So Boucher's in second and
All right.
Coffee's in
That
first
must have
at
been what I
28.
heard in passing then. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, it's no slouch, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Bouchard's been on fire lately, but yeah, he's still got a ways to go to catch Coffee.
All right, guys, we're going to sort of shut it down. I'm going to let Dash have the last word. Lotzi, really appreciate you coming on again. If you got a chance, go to heavyhockey.com. Check out Ryan Lotsberg's latest, which is changes under Knobloch. Kind of outlines some of the changes we've seen from defensive zone, offensive zone. And you can have a look there. Tell us what you think. Put some comments on there at heavyhockey.com. You can find Ryan Lotsberg at Lots Ryan on X. And, just he's a good guy. Make sure you give him a follow. And follow us at youtube.ca/heavyhockey. And make sure you go to heavyhockey.com. Check out, on the top menu, there's a thing called the Heavy Hockey Showdown, which is back for, we're raising money for the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton, much needed charity. And, last year with the Oilers Girls Night, we raised, I think, over 25 grand, if I'm not mistaken. It was a lot of money. Doesn't, whatever it was a lot of money, and it went to a good cause. And we want to do that again this year, and we need your help. So make sure you check that out at heavyhockey.com. It's going to be February 24th and 25th. So the first night we're going to have a pre-game event, pre-Oilers game event. Venues TBD right now. And then the Heavy Hockey Showdown, which is a charity hockey game in support of the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton, will happen on February 25th at the Downtown Community Center. And we should have the regular folks out there. Plus, we're going to be playing a team from Edmonton Sports Talk. So it's going to be heavy hockey. Look, the sirens are going off. We got lots happening here. Like,
where's the pyro?
That's big news.
There's peril in Edmonton.
Yeah. So so Edmonton Sports Talk versus the Heavy Hockey Network. Should be a good showdown for sure. All right. Ryan, thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
No, thanks for having me.
I'll let Dash get the last word tonight. And everybody else have a great night.
Just congratulations to Surveyor Brett on having the biggest radio day of his entire life. That's congratulations for hitting the cycle and beyond there. You know what? Showdown's pretty exciting, to have this type of charity hockey game available to us, and that we've, gonna put on the map and started, and now to be able to take it to the next level. This is going to be pretty cool. So, we'll all be on the same team now, Lotsy. You don't have to play with those other guys. And, it'll be Heavy Hockey versus Edmonton Sports Talk. And, come on out and see Dusty and Tommy and everybody else play against us and help us raise some money. It'll be fun. Night, everybody.